Welcome to the Sub-Auteurs. I'm Anja.
I'm Mai.
I'm Misha.
So today we will be talking about the documentary The Kingmaker. It revolves around events before the 2016 elections in the Philippines, and it gives you a point of view of Imelda Marcos, the former First Lady of the Philippines, wife of then President Ferdinand Marcos. And if you're a Filipino, you might know what happened during their regime and how it has affected our history. So yes, this is actually a very important film to watch, especially we are now approaching the Philippine elections in May. So this will give you context on what's going on around the country. And we will be talking to one of the filmmakers who worked on it.
That's right. Our guest today is Tey Clamor, who did additional cinematography on the film. A little bit of background. Tey is a Manila-based cinematographer who has always had a passion for films that parallel the narratives of the Philippines. So this film was content that was near and dear to her heart. You may have seen her work on films like Metamorphosis, Isa Pa with Feelings, Babae at Baril. She's won awards, she's done fellowships abroad, and basically this film was the culmination of 4 years of shooting. She worked with the Emmy Award-winning director, Lauren Greenfield, from the United States, and their team. But I'm not gonna go too much into that. We wanted you guys to hear it in her own words, what it was like to shoot this film and what it means to her as a filmmaker and as a Filipino. Full disclosure, Mai and I actually went to school with Tey. And it's just been a joy to see the progression of her career from a student filmmaker to starting out on features, working on documentaries, seeing her win awards, participating in things like the Berlinale and other international festivals.
What a resume.
I know, right? I mean, what am I doing with my life? But honestly, I think it's really interesting that the filmmakers behind The Kingmaker were insistent on getting a primarily female documentary crew to make this film. Do you have any thoughts on that, Mai, before we go into the interview?
Yes!
Very clear, very concise. Yes.
No, seriously. Okay, on a serious note, sorry. As you will probably hear later, I will not be able to stop myself from fangirling in front of Tey Clamor.
Yes.
But really, even before the Kingmaker documentary came out, and even before finding out that she was involved in it, I have looked up to Tey most of my student life. She is so talented, so down to earth. She has her head and her heart in the right place all the time, which is why she probably took on this project, because she knows that there is an important message to be said through not just this project, but a lot of the past work that she's done was to serve some kind of purpose and maybe saying something that the world needs to hear.
And we were lucky that we were able to catch her during some free time. She's currently...
You were lucky. I wasn't.
Well, it's okay. You were doing something important. But I think it's great that she found time during her lock-in period. She's currently at a shoot right now. But when she heard what we wanted to discuss, apparently this is one of her first major interviews on the subject, because as we talked about, and we will talk about in the interview, the film itself never had a proper full release because it got hit by COVID. So, and she's one of the main crew members who is based in the country. Everyone else is in the US. So her perspective is a little bit different, and I'm just glad that she was able to give us her time.
Having seen the interview you guys had with Tey, I can't help but feel a little bit jealous that I wasn't in the call. Because it was so sudden. You know how film schedules can be like. And man, can I just say, Tey, fucking badass. Idol kita. I swear. I wish I could meet you in person or have another conversation about your experience filming Kingmaker, but I'll take this for what it is. And I'm thanking both Mai and Misha for being able to make it and asking some of my questions for me. Thanks, guys.
Okay. So without further ado, on to the interview. All right. Good evening, Tey. Thank you so much for giving us your time. We know you are usually a busy person, and you're also now a mother. Congratulations on that.
Yay.
Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me also.
Tey is my lodi. It's like, I love Tey so much. Sobrang lodi ko si Tey. As in.
I thought we were gonna downplay that, pero
Sorry,
okay.
I can't help it. I can't help
Wala,
it.
nandito na tayo eh. Okay.
First time ko mag-podcast so...
Really? Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
It's an honor for that we're your first.
And it's always fun catching up with you, Tey. I guess first things first, we wanted to ask you about the film. We have a lot of thoughts, but I guess first and foremost, we need to know paano ka na-involved dito sa project na to? And, what was your involvement? How did this start?
Actually, lang siya. Yung usual, you get a text from a producer. They were looking for a cinematographer who shoots documentary. And there's weird kasi in the Philippines, we don't have a lot of cinematographers who shoots documentaries. Siguro because in the Philippines, rin siya parang pag documentary, ikaw na rin yung director, ikaw na rin yung mag-shoot, ikaw na lahat. Well, usually low budget yan pag mga documentaries. So, I think si Sir Neil Daza recommended me to our producer, parang may counterpart producer here in the Philippines. Tapos, ayun, I got in. Originally, what they told me lang is, kasi may NDA pa yan the Americans medyo, hindi sila agad bibigay ng information, what is it about, ganyan. And what I got lang before entering the project was, it's an Imelda documentary. And I was like, parang, I knew about the Imelda documentary before. So I was like, parang, ano yung bago na ipapakita?
Right.
And on our first day of shoot, it was Imelda agad yung subject namin.
Wow, no warm up.
Oh, no warm up. Kasi talagang parang although so I met Lauren on the day itself ng shoot. Our DOP si Shana Hagan.
Okay.
It's an almost all female team.
Yes.
So ayun, so parang ang saya kasi parang we're just siguro mga around less than 10 in the crew. It's just the interview talaga nung day na yun with Imelda. It's the scene wherein you saw in the documentary na pinapakita niya yung mga may nahulog na, alam mo may nahulog
the pictures?
Na.
That's like my favorite bit. I mean, for all the wrong reasons, that's my favorite bit when she knocks over the frames. Sorry.
Yun. So nakita yung frames, and then we interviewed her telling about Mao Zedong, yung parang yung mga friends niya, si Gaddafi, yung mga ganun. So I was the second camera pa at that time. I wasn't the additional cinematography then. Kasi parang the original plan was every time there's a schedule, they'll fly in here in the Philippines.
Right.
And of course, documentaries run for like how many years, diba? So parang I thought I was just gonna be there for that shoot. Kasi it wasn't naman parang a long-term parang deal with them. Na parang we're gonna be hiring me for the rest of for the next 4 years.
Okay.
So I was with them for 4 years. Pero may mga dates lang na hindi sumasakto when they're here. So may mga siya, parang kumbaga they'll just email me whenever there's a schedule and they're going to fly in, and then I'll help out. So ganun yung naging process. But ayun, I was able to build a relationship with the team after a few years. And then siguro kasi they work with some DOPs na rin before, and parang I guess kasi si Lauren is a fan din of female collaborators. So I was able to build a connection with her, and I was asked to parang shoot on my own whenever they can't fly.
Okay.
And, so that's why nakita ko ni Mai dun sa,
Yes.
nung nilibing si Marcos sa,
Yeah.
sa sa libing ng mga bayani.
Yeah,
Right.
just a short background on that encounter. We that happened. It shocked us all, and I just also happened to just go there out of like on a whim. Suddenly, I just wanted to go there and see what all the fuss is about. Like if it's true, even kasi di tayo makapaniwala at the time. And there, I saw Tey with her camera shooting like a pro, like a boss, just there randomly, like, oh, hi Tey. Pero nagkita lang kami, and then you did mention that you were shooting a documentary at the time. So that was just, I'm sure that was just like a spur of the moment decision for you as well to just go there and shoot.
Actually, it wasn't.
Oh.
No, it wasn't the spur of the moment, but it was sudden. Kasi on the day itself, parang, diba, everyone was surprised.
Yeah.
Parang, diba, fine, parang, kasi there was a long, parang, court battle, diba, if ilibing ba siya o hindi. Sinundan namin yon when Lauren and the whole team was here. And then we were just parang, parang nobody knew about this plan eh. Nobody knew about yung madaling araw na alam mo yun, yung parang magnanakaw na 'di ba na pumasok na hindi. Pero surprisingly nung day na yon in the morning parang may news na pero it wasn't hindi pa siya ganun kalat sa lahat. So my producer emailed me na parang yun nga may ganitong si Marcos ay nililibing na. So I had to I was about to fly on that day.
Oh, wow.
So I was about to fly on that day. I had to cancel my flight and then go straight to libingan ng mga bayani. Di ba napansin mo, parang pag nandun ka, hindi siya mukhang binigla. Mukha siyang pinlano.
Yes.
So, yun yung surprising about
exactly.
Kasi
there were policemen there. There were people from buses even. Like that like people went there to visit. So
ano siya, di ba yung ngayon parang laging may issue about mga hakot.
Right.
Marcoses, di ba? Sa mga rallies ganyan. Doon talaga may, I mean, I saw it in, di ba?
Pero nung araw na yun, I mean, ano yung mood on the ground? I mean, I guess I'm asking the two of you now because you saw it firsthand. Ano yung mood ng mga tao? Ano, kasi they basically just snuck him in there.
It was tense. Very tense.
Ano siya parang maliliit pa lang actually sila Mai nung nandun sila sa labas. Parang konti pa lang eh. Kasi not a lot of people knew about it eh, di ba?
Right.
Hindi siya parang biglang. So suddenly, lahat ng mga tao tipon-tipon to, parang yun, eventually lumaki siya eh, di ba? Lumaki siya, pumunta lahat sa EDSA, sa EDSA para mag-rally doon, di ba? Pero walang plano. Kasi nga, lahat walang alam, di ba? Doon sa pero nakita mo na pag pumunta ka doon sa libingan ng mga bayani, it's a well orchestrated event eh. As in we were able to go in eh doon sa loob nung mismong libingan, and well decorated, maraming mga police na nagbabantay doon sa perimeters, a lot of buses of loyalists, Marcos loyalists were also there. So, alam mo yun, hindi ka naman...
How were you allowed to shoot? I mean, akala ko bawal yung media, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly.
Actually, hindi kami masyadong I don't think, kasi patapos na eh. Nagawa na eh. Nangyari na siya eh.
Okay.
So, hindi naman, I wasn't able to like go in while it was happening.
Right.
I went in after yung mga loyalists na lang yun nandun.
Okay.
So I was with I think a couple of mga reporters also na nakapasok kami.
Yeah. Obviously ako hindi na ako nakapasok. I didn't have a camera or anything, or I wasn't there because I was media.
Wala ako ID eh. Nung pumasok ako, sabi ko lang we're just shooting a documentary.
Oh, okay.
About Imelda. Ayun.
I am impressed that you were able to get the trust of your foreign team na you were able to shoot on your own even when they couldn't fly in. Pero kailangan ko tanungin is, ano yung briefing sa'yo when you all first met? What were they, what did they tell you the treatment that they wanted? What did they want to see out of this material with you?
When they asked me to go on board the project, I researched on Lauren Greenfield as a documentarist.
Right.
So yung mga old films niya kasi is more on parang may certain may certain style siya and meron siyang certain characters na she follows, 'di ba? So parang forgot yung name ng film niya, yung first film niya, Queen of Versailles. Yung Queen of Versailles is mahilig siya sa mga people with yung grand people with parang may what's the word? Grandiose ba yung word for that? May
lavish lifestyle.
Lavish, exactly. So may ganon na, so I have that kind of idea na although in terms of like ano yung pelikula na gusto nilang gawin, hindi pa ako sure when I started.
Right.
Parang I was asking our producer, parang ano kaya to? Is this a pro Marcos? Is this a kasi you have complete they gave Lauren a full access to them. She was able to go to a lot of different events with the Marcoses.
Right.
So although I think I don't think any Filipino documentaries will be given that kind of access.
I think, after the previous docu, yung Imelda in 2004. I mean, I would have thought they'd be allergic to this kind of access, but they gave it.
Pero si Imelda kasi as a person, if you see her, mahilig siya doon sa doon sa attention. She loves gusto niya magkwento, and she's stuck siya in that era of their lives. Parang the Marcoses are great, ganyan. She wants to be the mother of the Filipinos. Ayun. So ayun, it was just parang curious about is there something new that I'm gonna see in filming this documentary. So ang ganda nung naging plot ang ganda nung naging tawid when I finally saw the documentary, how it's all connected, from way back to until now, diba? So yun yung nakakapanginig ng buto kasi parang oh my God, diba? This is not this is not a conspiracy, this is a planned diba? May plano lahat sila, hindi siya lang.
What was that first day of shooting like? As in, dire-diretso kayo. I mean, you went straight into the deep end. Was that the first time you'd encountered Imelda in person? I mean, what was that experience like, just going in and doing that first day?
It wasn't my first encounter with Imelda. My first encounter with Imelda was parang isang photo exhibit of a rich man. So parang pero that was it. Parang I saw her and then gone. Pero this one, we had a whole day with her. We went into her yung bahay niya sa Green Hills, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Ayun. Tapos ito yung bahay na pinakita doon sa sa documentary, yung mas malaki, not the condo. And then after that, we went straight to Gloria Maris. Ayun. Tapos kumain doon, tapos may tapos sinushoot lang din namin siya how is she dealing with the people there. May special spot siya doon, and actually kinakabahan ako at that time kasi parang ba to, i-humanize ba natin si Imelda, like what's happening right now, diba? Parang ipapakita ba yung so nakakatakot when we were shooting that documentary. And of course I'm not, parang hindi ko naman kilala yung mga mga collaborators ko at the time. So I'm not sure how are they going to frame this documentary. But eventually, as we progress with parang they see Lauren, what's good about her and what's great about her is she gets all the details and all the point of views from different people. I was able to shoot the EJK as well, the EJK part of the Kingmaker. Ayun, yung election lang, I wasn't able to shoot that with them because of I think I have a prior commitment. Pero ang pinakamalaking na shoot ko is the Imelda part and the EJK. Ayun. And so, the EJK is a totally different story.
Yeah, I'm sure it was definitely heavy to shoot. So going into it, so from what you've said, I'm under the impression that while you were shooting the documentary, you had no idea how it would turn out. Will it be pro Marcos or it will be anti? So was it a surprise to you come premiere date?
Ay, hindi naman.
Okay.
Parang when I get to know them and I was able to like bond with them and know who they are as people. I knew that they're going to do this right. That they're going to be fair and they're going to see, alam mo yun, behind the glamour that what Imelda is showing to them. So, eventually we were able to ang dami naming na interview na iba pa, and I followed Rafi Lerma. We followed Rafi Lerma, the photojournalist who was tasked to, every day nag-shoot siya ng mga napapatay at the height of the EJK in 2016. Ayun. So, ang galing nung eventually, alam mo yun, parang parang hanggang ngayon nga hindi pa tapos yung kwento ng The Kingmaker. Yun yung chilling about it eh. And recently, I've been talking to Lauren a lot kasi we just released nga the what you call this, yung iba-ibang subtitle and also the dub version. And they were really pushing for it. We are really pushing for it kasi there's a need for parang when we saw the documentary back in 2020, early 2020, when we finally saw the documentary, parang there's a need for a better access for kasi it's in English, and for the Filipinos to grasp it ng mas tama, you have to dub it or at least may subtitle na Tagalog.
I have to ask though, sorry, kasi kanina sinabi mo na natuwa ka when you were having your discussions with the filmmakers that they would be treating the material in the right way. And now you said it again na kailangan ma-experience ng mga masang Filipino, they have to experience the film sa tamang paraan, in the right way, with the subtitles, with the dub. I need to ask, what is the right way for you? I mean, and how much of this comes from your own personal view of the subject material? Ano yung right? Bakit siya yung right way para sa'yo?
Yung dubbed?
Yung dubbed and even yung treatment ng material in the first place.
Kasi actually yung documentary, when you watch it, meron siya may nung nag-shoot kami on my first day, I had the feeling na parang meron, baka it can be, kasi when you meet Imelda in person, charismatic siya eh. Actually charismatic siya. Very endearing. A very charming person. And when you see the documentary, ganun din siya eh. Makikita mo talaga. And if you're a normal person na, di ba, Filipinos are forgiving. Ay, ano naman eh, charismatic naman. May mabait naman si madam. Ay, gusto niya lang maging nanay eh. Di ba? Ganun tayo eh, as Filipinos, di ba? So, minsan nadadala tayo sa charisma eh. So, when you see, when you see the documentary, it's like parang half of it half of it is medyo, sobrang endearing siya eh. Ang endearing niya eh, as a character. So medyo nakakatakot, actually, pag pinanood mo yung kasi baka hindi siya makuha in a way na parang, the way na, si Lauren kasi the documentary is not, parang hindi siya right in your face. Diba? Sometimes it's subtle eh. Diba? It's subtle sometimes. It's ano ba siya? Medyo, sorry for the word, pero parang mas kailangan mo ng may talino ka to actually see the difference between this is this is all lies. These are and then this one is the real thing. Siguro kaya then there's a need for like Tagalog or different para mas makakonect din kasi of course all of the Filipinos naman knows how to understand at least English. Pero iba kasi pag yung lengguwahe mo na or sarili mong dialect ang ginagamit para maintindihan mo or ma-absorb mo yung mga information na binibigay sa'yo. So we really fought for it to be dubbed and to be released. Ayun. And it was really a battle for Lauren kasi 2020 pa lang. Ang dami na nagre-request, ang dami ng clamor for it. And then the film kasi was released by I Want and it was already bought. So to ask these to these yung mga production and yung mga yung nag-release to ask them to have it na na libre na mapanood sa YouTube. It's
malaking bagay yun.
Malaking bagay yun, di ba? Pero we're lucky to have them on board dito sa pag-release nito. Kasi it's more than the money. It's really you need to fight misinformation and yun. So
bigat eh. Wait. Hindi, pero I agree with you completely. Something that I was discussing with Mai and our other co-host who cannot be here, unfortunately. He's putting his baby to bed, si Anjo. Yung isang napag-usapan namin tatlo was the film is it's all in the nuances. It's not in your face. In fact, mas direct nga yung preceding film, yung Imelda. In as far as letting you see what kind of person she is and all that. But this one gives a more balanced picture. You really have to read between the lines.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I need to ask, so this was done on purpose?
I think din siya. Well, si Lauren as a documentarist, ganun din talaga siya.
Yung style niya.
Style niya. Diba?
Which is fair.
And also, she was not biased. Actually, when she came in the Philippines, she's just fascinated that Imelda wanted to buy giraffes and have her own zoo in Calawit. So parang doon lang nag-start yun eh. Doon lang talaga nag-start yung idea na yun. Na parang she's interested in this woman na wanted to buy a whole zoo, diba? And fly it in the Philippines from Africa. So, she's, nag-start siya from scratch. Ng research and everything. And she really wanted to know them. Hindi siya yung basta-basta. Hindi siya parang, kasi tayo as Filipinos, pero na tayo nagbabasa sa books eh. When we started growing up, we knew our history, we have our biases when we. Pero siguro kaya din, what I like about Kingmaker is, well, hindi dahil sa project ko siya, pero parang,
kasama na yun.
Kasama na yun. Pero she was able to see both, to balance both sides and was able to realize the lies, to decipher ano yung lie, ano yung totoo. Which is very important ngayon kasi yun ang natin eh, laban natin ngayon. Ano yung totoo at saka yung kasinungalingan.
So true.
And speaking of having our own ideas as Filipinos growing up, knowing about the Marcoses. So going in, of course, you had your own ideas and opinions on the subject matter. Did this change while you were shooting? Did it not change? Did it reinforce what you were believing in? And if yes, if it did change, how?
It definitely reinforced my beliefs. And at the same time, ano ba siya? Parang siguro one of the most memorable documentaries I made, ngayon is still The Kingmaker. I've been shooting like some documentaries din before, pero it's not as, hindi mo nararamdaman na as important as this.
Mhm.
Kasi it's to change minds. It's about our country. It helped me a lot then in terms of like how, ano ba siya, parang how will I, siguro dahil may personal access doon sa information. Nakita mo kung sino yung mga tao na na players.
Yes.
So nakakatakot siya. More than mas yun yung feeling Mas yung nakakatakot. Paano umupo na tong mga taong to sa power. Yun yung parang alam mo yun, na lang ba tayo bilang mga Pilipino pag hinayaan natin manalo si BBM and magtagumpay siya dun sa life plan niya. Kasi yun talaga ang niya yun talaga ang kanyang goal. Life goal.
Destiny daw
Destiny niya 'di ba? Yun yung 'di ba? Kaya they'll do everything, anything, everything just to
I can only imagine like paano yung mga conversations nyo at the end of shoot days? Like, you all just shake your head na, oh my God, ano itong mga shoot natin today? Or, I mean, what was it like? Kasi sabi mo, start from zero yung foreign team for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these stories are not things that you yourself heard for the first time. Did they ask you to contextualize things? What kind of conversations did you have while shooting this thing?
Ano ba? I remember parang I had the most, parang I had a lot of like crying moments while filming this. Ano ba siya? When yung Sandigan Bayan, nung naglabas ng Sandigan Bayan ng pwede nang ilibing si Marcos sa libingan ng mga bayani. It was sobra siyang grabe yung pakiramdam. It was the location, 'di ba, sa harap ng libingan ng mga bayani, nasa kaliwa, yung puro loyalists. Tapos ando sila BBM, dumating sila BBM, we had to film them, everyone. And then on the other side were the victims of martial law. Ang bigat ng pakiramdam. Nery Colmenares came in. Parang isa-isang pumasok si Sir Nery Colmenares to find out the ruling of the court. Tapos sa gitna, complete battle gear yung mga yung mga police. Tense siya kasi of course you have the martial law victims, 'di ba, shouting and parang samantalang doon sa kabilang side, everyone was dancing. Parang fiesta. Doon sa kabila, sumasayaw alam mo yun, parang sumasayaw yung mga loyalists. Ang saya ni Ai, nandun si Aimee, nandun si Bongbong. I was shooting while crying. Diba? Kasi, diba, parang, sorry for the word, mapatangin na ka Kasi parang, diba, where's justice? Diba? You're in front of the alam mo yun, yung nakamataas ng korte ng Suprema, 'di ba? And nasan yung yung justice dun sa mga nangyari. It was an emotional day for everyone. I mean, from the other side, they're emotional, happy, emotional, galit dun sa mga medyo yun yung one of the most memorable scenes doon. And everyone was ready. Dun sa yung mga police, they were wearing yung mga gears, yung
riot gear.
Yung riot gears. Have the whole riot gears. But it didn't, hindi naman siya nag-blow up into a riot. Kasi, more than galit, ang naramdaman mo dun sa mga, sa mga martial law victims, they were really sad. Everyone was crying.
Yeah.
I can't
alam mo
even
yun, defeated.
imagine.
Defeated yung feeling eh. Hindi sila, alam mo yun, parang it's been, kasi before that, parang there's a series of like, mga, ano ba siya? Parang hindi naman, parang they were just waiting for the release nung kung papayagan ba o hindi. Ayan. So, ang tagal na battle nun. And siguro pagod na rin sila. And they were really, feeling of defeat. Ayun. Grabe yung ano na yun. Nalala ko pa rin yun.
This is not your first documentary. What were some of the challenges that, you had full access and you had confidence in your team. What were some of the challenges, the unexpected things that happened along the way while you were shooting this?
Siguro kasi sa documentaries, yung mga surprise and yung mga things that's happening around you, hindi naman siya, expected mo siya. As a documentarist, kailangan expected mo siya na may mangyayari. You will, alam mo yun, pupunta ka dito, hindi lang ito yung pupuntahan mong lugar. Kasi pwedeng lumaki yung pwedeng may sundan ka pang ibang characters. So, which I like also about documentaries kasi it's unpredictable. You cannot plan it talaga. Siguro they'll give you lang yung starting point mo lang and then bahala ka na. Yun. So, even when we were shooting the EJK, it's just, originally it's just gonna be one spot eh. We were able to shoot like parang 4 area or 3 areas. Kasi at that time, parang when we were shooting nung gabi na yun, may isang gabi kaming nag-shoot na different areas and parang madami-dami silang nakota sa mga papatay nila. So parang grabe, as in after that I had hindi ko alam kung PTSD ba yun after shooting the EJK.
I'm sure it must have been terrible.
Kasi I was parang imagining basta baka may biglang dumaan na motor lang dyan, bigla ka ng barilin. Kasi that was the how they do it nung time na yun eh, diba? And people are actually, they know it, they knew it, they see it in the streets, diba? Pero diba, people are allowing it to happen.
Speaking of EJKs and showing up Sandigan Bayan when a riot could break out at any point, alam ba ng pamilya mo kung ano yung sinushoot mo? Were they okay with this? I mean, did anybody tell you, hoy, mag-ingat ka? Or, be careful?
Actually, hindi. I don't mention pag nag-shoot ako ng documentary kung saan ako pupunta. Siguro, in-explain ko na lang pagkatapos. Kasi definitely, mas, alam mo yung kakabahan yung nanay ko. So, hindi ko na siya pakabahin. And when I was shooting the Kingmaker, I live alone. So, hindi ko siya, as much as possible, ayokong sabihin prior to shooting. Kasi, baka mamaya message ka, nag-shoot ka, tapos bilang may tumatawag sa'yo in the middle.
I totally understand it's not because you're hiding it necessarily. It's more of you don't want them to worry because this is somehow a very dangerous subject matter to be involved in. But at the same time, you're doing it not just for yourself, not just for your career, but you have an important message you want to show or to give out.
On that note, and we can take this out if it's too personal, pero like, would you have taken this on now? I mean, as a parent, would you still have taken this job on?
Now, siguro yun din yung nung dumating yung COVID, okay pa ako. I still, nag-shoot ako. Hindi ako actually ganun ka-running nung I still go out. I still, alam mo yun, nag-volunteer work pa ako after, nung nagka-COVID. Siguro nung nagkaanak ako because may COVID and parang yung fear of like, alam mo yun, parang baka may mauwi ka doon sa bahay, sa household mo na pwede maka-harm doon sa anak mo. Siguro yun yung nagbago. I hope na eventually mawala. Kasi, I'm starting to shoot again. And, although like, kunyari, I'm still volunteering sa mga, parang mga, pero may specific lang na, kunyari, I can shoot, I can volunteer as a cinematographer for mga Lenny shoots. Pero sa studio lang, parang may ganon. When they asked me to do house to house, parang I had to, parang had to ask muna na, ay papahiram ko na lang yung camera ko. I still want to help, but parang because of our unique situation right now, medyo, ayun. Pero kung ako lang, hindi ako natatakot para sa sarili ko. It's really because of Alon and of my son. Yeah.
You are a badass.
I know, right? That's why I love her so much. So, of course, shooting it was such an experience. It was very emotional and probably also physically taxing on you because you just had to adapt to everything that was going on. So, when that day came and it's edited, it's done, what was it like to see it for the first time? And what was it like to see it in CCP, especially?
Actually, siya.
I'm still sorry that I wasn't able to make the premiere. Okay. I was really busy. I hope you gave my tickets to somebody who deserved it.
Yeah. I gave it to Shara Zambrano, actually.
Okay.
Parang mas okay pa nga na hindi si Misha. Joke!
Thank you so much.
No. Kasi when we were about to do the premiere, we really wanted as many. Kasi I asked Misha specifically because you were working in...
Yeah, I still do the reviews for GMA and for 8 List. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to write about it.
And of course, because you're my friend.
Yeah, that too.
Pero, we were, as much as we can, we tried to invite people in the media to know about the film. Kasi it's an important film. So, alam mo yun, para alam mo yun, makahatak din ng mga tao na who will talk about it. And, ayun. So, when we finally, it was parang, syempre ang tanong ng lahat nung nag-premiere is, in-invite ba si Imelda? Okay. So, yun yung tanong. Yes, in-invite siya. Pero walang bumalik from their camp. I think parang siguro, kasi before the premiere in the Philippines, there was a premiere in Venice and Telluride. So I think nalaman na nila kung ano yung feedback dun sa film or kung ano man. Hindi ko nga, alam mo yun, sometimes parang, alam mo yun, dahil alam mo na may mga conspiracy dito sa mga sa side nila. Hindi ko alam kung baka naman kaya nila inallow din yung film na to be shot is because meron silang, alam mo yun, bad or good publicity o still publicity. So, alam mo yun, baka naman may ganun din. So, hindi ko alam. Pero after the premiere, that I think that was the last time they reached out to Imelda and asked her and the family na umattend. So walang umattend. Ayan, dun sa CCP premiere. And I remember, it was, I remember parang, okay, the CCP premiere was special also. We really pushed for that. Si Lauren pushed for that because CCP, di ba, parang, it's an Imelda. It's an Imelda,
the house that Imelda
project,
built.
Di ba? It's an Imelda project. And how, alam mo yun, and, ano ba siya? Parang parang we have a film about her and how corrupt they are in the place na binild nila. We had a full talaga, as in we had our interviewees, sila Miss Eta Rosales, sila Rafi Lerma was there. Ang hindi lang nakapunta ay si Sir, forgot mo na name ko, the head of PCGG at the time of the Marcoses. Of Ninoy Aquino. Of Nonoy Aquino. Noy. Ayun. Siya yung hindi nakapunta because he's still on exile. Nasa exile pa siya. So, hindi pa siya makauwi until, the new administration or kung sino man ang papalit ngayon kay, Duterte. I was really happy with the result of the documentary. It was, all I ever imagined. But also, I was able, kasi dahil hindi ako kasama sa ibang mga shoots, na-surprise din ako sa mga revelations, like how I was able to shoot the Duterte part, the campaign of Duterte.
Mm-hmm.
So I was surprised dun sa revelation that he was funded by, sorry for the sa mga hindi pa nakapanood, no. He was funded by the Marcoses.
Right.
So yun, parang it was parang, oh wow, parang kaya, and because at the time dun pa lang when the film was released, dun pa lang namin nalaman din yung title na it's The Kingmaker.
Mm-mm.
So dun din parang okay, this is
this was the first time you were seeing it, yung sa CCTV?
Yeah. Yes.
Wala kayong like crew screening or something?
No, wala.
Tapos time na agad, like boom.
Oo nga.
Dropping the mic, this is it. This is the project.
But I keep on bugging them before the premiere na parang, what's how is the documentary? When is it? Kasi it's been years, di ba? We've been doing it. So hindi ko alam when will it when will they release it? What's this? Di ba nakakatakot din kasi parang naku, ayoko dun sa subject. Tapos baka mamaya proto, ano ba yan? Hindi ko alam kung ano, or baka ano kaya yung magiging niya. Hindi naman, I knew naman na hindi siya magiging pro, pero parang ano kaya yung kakalabasan? Ano yung pupuntahan nung kwento na binuo ni Lauren? Si Lauren was able to, we had like a few minutes of her intro via Zoom. May Zoom na ba nun? Or before? Or hindi ako Zoom na yun. Skype na yun hata. Ayun. So she was able to see the audience. Madaming pumunta. I was the one who read her message. I remember. Ayun, ako yung nag-read ng message niya to the audience. And after that, we had an interview with si Ato Maraulio was able to interview the players of
Oh my God, crush ko yun. Wala na. Hindi ko napakila. I'm sorry, Misha. I'm sorry.
Pati ba naman dito, silaksakan mo ng first portion. Okay. Seryoso usapan eh.
Pero cute siya.
Atom! See? Tey agrees with me.
Yeah, I remember.
Ilang beses ko na siya tapos hindi ako makapagsalita, nakapangiti lang ako.
I also, nag-guest din siya sa radio station where I used to work at. Diyos ko, hinintay ko talaga siya. As in, hindi ko shift. Hindi pa ako umuwi. Alam ko, graveyard shift yun eh. Tapos, nandun siya sa morning show. Hinintay ko siya. And it was worth it. Wala. But it's not, okay, in our defense, Misha, matalino din siya. Sobrang talino din. He's also
I didn't say he wasn't.
Wala lang. Defensive. Justify ko lang yung pag-insert ng thirst for Atom around.
Siya. Sige.
Anyway, moving
on. So, watching the film, you felt may pagka-validation, may pagka, what was your emotional state that night?
Oh yeah, I'd love to know.
Kami, nag-samgyupsal kami.
Yeah!
Perfect.
Best way to celebrate.
I was with, kasi yun, para siyang yung pelikula. Siya yung tipo ng pelikulang kailangan upuan mo pagkatapos. Kailangan mo magkaroon ng discussion with someone.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Luckily, dahil hindi pumwede si Misha, nandun
Wow!
Kasama ko si Shara Zambrano and then si Prime. So, nag-samgyupsal kami pagkatapos. Tapos may, alam mo yun, parang doon kami nag-discuss about the film. And si Shara actually was the first one who told me about na parang sana lumabas ng dub yung
yes.
film. And ayun, it's lang talaga. Kasi ang bigat eh. After watching the film, ang bigat eh.
Yes.
So, you had to ask someone ano yung opinion niya, ano yung tingin niya dun sa how it was framed, and parang actually same yung thoughts namin na nakakatakot siya pag kunyari tinake ng someone as it's a charismatic film na parang alam mo yun, di ba, kasi pag tinignan mo talaga, di ba, when you see side by side, Imelda or Bongbong and Noy Noy Aquino. Si Noy Noy is very, alam mo yun, parang ipagka-bland siya kasi as a person, di ba? Sorry,
no
pero,
argument. I mean,
yeah.
with all due respect,
Bless his soul, but
bless his soul. Yes, oo, 'di ba? May pagka-bland kasi siya eh. So pag ano mo talaga, yung Pinoy mahilig sa ano ba siya? Yung mga characters, personality,
artista,
exactly, 'di ba? Without looking into the Kaya nga tayo ang dami nating artistang politiko, 'di ba? So, ano siya, kung titingnan mo lang siya based on that, okay. 'Di ba? Parang she's the perfect politician in the Philippines, 'di ba? Pag tinignan mo siya na parang ganon, 'di ba? Pero performer siya eh. Siya. She knows how to perform in front of the people. And si Bongbong was able to para siyang apprentice niya si Bongbong eh. 'Di ba? And ang nakita mo siya, it's parang ayaw niyang yung nanay niya eh. Ito yung pinlano ng nanay niya. It's destiny for her son. Eh. So, by hook or by crook, kailangan mangyari siya. And, ayun, nakakatakot pag Pero so, doon pumasok yung sana. Kaya pumasok din yung, I think parang a lot of people ask for the film to be dubbed. Para in a way, mas, ito pala yung sabihin nung. Kasi may mga words kasi sometimes na English na minsan hindi. Iba yung dating. Parang, ay, social, or ganyan. Or,
to be honest, yan yung kinakatakot ko. Kasi, well, I mean, yung version na pinad ko kasi was yung English. And yung para sa akin was, na if you're not paying full attention, or if you're not fully fluent, maraming lulusot to the point na, if you already have your mind made up one way or the other, the film will reinforce that if you're not careful.
Yes.
Kaya importante talaga, kailangan mapanood siya with subtitles, with the dub, para you get the full intent of the filmmaker, or you get the full content that's being communicated. Kasi alam mo yung tendency ng mga tao ngayon is ginagawa nilang radyo, yung TV. As in, magte-text sila or maglalaba or whatever. Diba? While that thing is on, it's not a casual watch. You really have to pay attention.
Yes, agree. Parang, nawala yung thoughts ko.
Sorry.
Okay lang.
Hindi, not your fault. Kasi tinignan ko yung phone ko, may nagte-text. Ayun. Kahit na lock in, biglang may mga nagte-text na tao pag break day.
Sorry.
No. Sobrang salamat for asking me to do this. Kasi, this is something na we have to, pag-usapan. I think parang kahit na, minsan nga parang, yung the film was done and was released in, late 2019, pero until now, parang, hindi pa rin enough yung mga nakakapanood. Kahit libre na siya, parang, kasi like kunyari sa mga kamag-anak ko lang, I've been sending them all these so mamili na lang kayo yung dub na nyo. Kasi marami akong kamag-anak na BBM eh. Diba? So,
same.
Pero alam mo yun, dun pa lang hindi na nila, because it's not, the running time is more than what they can focus on. So hindi nila binibigyan ng ng attention yung pelikula. And yun nga, pag pinanood mo pa yung pelikula, yung first half niya is medyo mahirap siyang kasi kailangan mo siyang tapusin para to see the whole picture of who she is as a person, diba? So, ayun, hopefully, sana yung mga tao will, alam mo yun, it's just an hour and a half film I think. So, sana bigyan nila ng oras. Kasi, ayan I mean, visually, makikita mo na siya kung ano yung mga nangyari before, then so sana sipagin yung mga Pilipino na
sana
to do their own research. You've mentioned it being free online, easier to access for a lot of people, but especially during the start, were there any opposing forces who wanted to stop the release.
I mean, nagulat nga ako na sa CCP yung premiere in the first place, to be honest. I mean, I would have thought na may hihirit, may haharang sa inyo.
Although, the ano naman, yung CCP naman has been, alam mo yun, parang, ano yan matigas sa ulo na CCP, di ba? You have people like sila Chris Meleado heading the CCP, di ba? So, and ang CCP at saka UP lang actually ang hindi na, di ba, nasasama sa MTRCB.
Oo. Yes.
So, walang no need to go through MTRCB to have a release of the documentary. Tapos hindi naman din nagplan on doing actually there was a plan for a wide release in cinemas.
Yeah.
Pero it's, 'di ba, syempre dahil pandemic hindi siya natuloy. I think
mismo.
Pandemic happened. Ang dami actually maplano pa parang there was a plan also na parang to go si Dakila the group and activista nag-go on board sila, so they wanted to parang do yung mga small barangays screenings. So until now I think they're still doing it kasi nga ang hirap na yung pelikula is sometimes hindi naman lahat tayo may access sa online. Karamihan ng mga far-flung provinces wala silang access to YouTube, Facebook, ganyan. So si activista is really actively pursuing to have like screenings sa iba't ibang parte ng Pilipinas.
Okay. You've had a couple of years to think about this. This film took up 4 years of your life, and now that you've had some distance from it, I need to ask you, given everything that you know now, everything that you've experienced, everything you've seen, is there anything that you possibly would have done differently in how you approach the material? Oh, okay, none.
I will
no,
still,
that's a good answer.
Yeah, I will still go whenever they needed me. Siguro, sabi ko nga, kung hindi natapos yung documentary, baka nag-shoot pa din ako until now. Baka hindi ako, hindi ako nag-test.
Kaya honest question, at what point did you guys call it a day? When did you say it's a wrap?
Oo nga.
Kasi yun nga, kagaya na sinabi mo, the story is still going.
Oo. We have a lot of materials kasi for that, of course, kasi 4 years of, actually 5 years for that. Kasi, on the first year, wala pa ako. So, they have a lot of materials. And when was the last time I saw them? The last time was in the elections. The VP elections.
Right.
Yun yung I haven't asked si Doren. I haven't asked her kung when was the time na sinabi niyang ito na yun. Yeah, I haven't asked her. I should ask her. Sorry.
Okay.
I should
Judging
ask
naman
her.
din from the material that was in the film, it ended sa may elections Like when Duterte won already and Bongbong was Bongbong was appealing to the court that he won.
Continuously appealing.
It's a natural endpoint naman because nobody knew what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
Oo.
So tama lang
naman. Parang it's a repeat. What's happening right now, it's a repeat of what happened in the vice presidential elections.
Mukhang mas malala Alam mo naman pag sequel, they always gotta go bigger.
Yeah.
Pero
fucking sequels.
Pero maganda siya na wag na mag-sweet. Pero maganda naman na lumabas siya ngayon kasi we needed this we needed. I think parang kailangan natin yung mas importanteng mapanood siya ngayon than to film it.
Yes.
True.
I like that. I agree completely with that. And I am super grateful that there are people like you who will put their beliefs on the line and make something like this. Thank you so much.
Ooh,
honestly.
Thank you.
It's an honor to be your friend, and it's an even bigger honor to have been able to interview you about this film. Thank you.
Ay, meron pa pala kaming we
sige,
had
go.
a...
Oh, go, please. Yeah.
We had a talk with we had a talk with Lauren pala. Na, actually we had an event pa pala made after the premiere of Kingmaker. So
Okay.
nagkaroon kami ng Q&A. Kami nila, yun actually pala yung ginawa namin nila Shara after the Samgyupsal. Naggawa kami ng parang it's a round table discussion about the film with Lauren, with Eta Rosales, and everyone included in the except Imelda in the documentary. So hopefully, sana nga magkaroon ulit para before the elections. Kasi si Lauren right now is parang ang daming mga nung nilabas actually yung document yung on YouTube, I don't know what happened pero she posted it recently na parang nagkaroon ng problem sa parang na turn down yung niya yung upload.
Really?
I'm not sure if it's something that it has to do with power or people, I mean, trying to not parang na pumipigil dun sa pagpapalabas ng documentary pero yun, it happened. But they were able to upload another one. So yun, naayos yata. I'm not sure kung ano specifically yung naging problem with the first upload. So it's a continuous battle. And ayun, sana magkaroon pa ng mga kasi after it was uploaded, I'm not sure lang kung yung mga iba-ibang hindi ko alam kung parang nung lumabas yung iba-ibang dialects, parang hindi ako masyado nakarinig ng mga ng information ng mga tao na nagko-comment about it. I'm not sure kung masyado nang malaki yung TikTok yung makinarya ng mga Marcoses, kaya alam mo yun, hindi na nila, wala nang dating sa kanila, pero hopefully meron pa ring narating yung efforts, yung narating yung iba-ibang dialects na versions. Hopefully meron pa ring na-reach audience.
Kagaya na sinabi mo, malaking factor din kasi yung attention span ng mga tao Kung TikTok versus, an almost 2-hour-long film.
It's sad, but it's a reality.
Hopefully, it reaches the right people, honestly. Something that's interesting when I look at the reactions, if you look at yung mga reviews and reactions from abroad, actually, they look at the film, they say it's a cautionary tale. They say that they can't imagine why we would ever allow any of these people to set foot back on our soil. They say na this could only happen in the Philippines, as sad as that sounds.
We're forgiving kasi.
Yun ba yung, hindi ko alam kung yun yung word Kailangan mas malala yata sa forgiving
Oo nga parang ang bait pa kasi ng forgiving
Yeah.
I think a word to unfortunately describe it is we are forgetful. Hence the hashtag never forget, which we keep trying to push whenever Marcos is the subject.
Yeah.
I
think I agree. Nakalungkot, no?
Yeah.
Escapist ang mga Pilipino
Totoo.
Diba? Ayaw nila ng kasi siguro dahil ang hirap na ng bansa natin.
Yeah.
Diba? Ang hirap natin na sa country. So yung Pinoy lagi siyang yung magaganda lang gusto nilang panoorin. Gusto lang yun. Kaya pero hopefully, diba? Minsan ang hirap sa kanila ng truth Kahit nga sa pamilya mo lang, di ba? Sa sarili mong pamilya. Ganun
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Diba? Very much so. Very much so.
Yes.
We don't parang hindi tayo crack sa isa't isa.
Yeah, we beat around the bush a lot.
Wala yata ulit.
But thank you so much, Tey, for your time and for your insights and everything you've shared, the context you've given us as someone who worked behind the film. So I guess last question or statement, I guess we can address this to our listeners. If there's something you want the listeners to know about your experience or how you want them to watch the film, or maybe even for those who have already seen it, how you want them to introduce the film to other people who haven't seen it. Basically, last message mo sa mga nakikinig sa atin ngayon.
Ayun. Siguro, give the film a chance. I mean, to see it. If sabi mo wala, give the film a chance. Give our country a chance. I mean, not just the film. Parang, huwag mong isipin yung pangayon lang. Kasi ganun tayo, di ba? Sa Pilipinas. Ito yung ito lang yung mahalaga sa akin, sarili ko lang. Ito lang yung, binigyan naman ako ni ng tarpaulin, or binigyan ako kasi niya ng grocery bag. So iboboto ko siya, 'di ba? Itong mangyayari kasi sa Mayo is tatatak siya sa sa history ng Pilipinas. Yan ang magiging ang mangyayari sa Mayo ay yan ang magiging kinabukasan hindi lang ng sarili mo, ng mga anak mo, ng mga apo mo, 'di ba? So siguro mas maganda kung we gather all the facts. The film naman is not gonna tell you the film won't tell you na ito yung tama yung o mali eh. But actually, mas bibigyan ka nga niya ng chance na malaman on your own kung ano ba talaga yung nangyari. And ayun, it's just an hour and a half. It's an easy film. Pag weird the word na easy film. It's kasi actually there's humor in the film eh.
Yeah.
Pag napanood mo siya, it's exciting siya. There's may mga ups and downs siya. I mean, it's madali siyang panoorin.
Yeah.
Actually,
Hindi siya
yun yung word siguro.
kagaya ng aswang. Na yun mahirap yung panoorin. Pero ang hirap niyang panoorin.
Something I noticed also, its approach is not very data driven. It's more of experience driven because you get from the experiences of Imelda and Marcoses, and you get from the experience of the EJK victims, of martial law victims. So hindi siya parang documentary that will give you pie charts or numbers.
Yes.
So it's not difficult in that sense that you expect from a lot of documentaries.
Yes. Very siya. Meron siyang, kasi mararamdaman mo siya. It's makikilala mo yung tao na alam mo yun. What's good about the documentary is you can really see Imelda as yung portray niya na mother, 'di ba? Imelda as the wife of Ferdinand Marcos, 'di ba? The lavish Imelda, 'di ba? The people around Imelda, the people who are victims of Imelda. Diba? Ganon siya, finrame eh. And how Imelda wants to stay in power, to bring back their power. Ganon siya finrame ni Lauren. So it's padali siyang panoorin. Kasi nanggaling siya ang galing nga eh. Kasi ang mga Pilipino, di ba, na-capture niya ang Pilipino, pamilya ang hindi gano'n ng mga Amerikano eh, di ba? Ang mga Amerikano, mas individualistic eh. Ang mga Pilipino, very, pamilya eh. Na-capture niya yun eh. Nakita mo na how important family is. At a fault eh, sometimes, na ang pamilya minsan mas mataas than country. Di ba? May mga ganong So, nasa na ba ako? Sorry.
It's alright. Sobrang tama naman yun eh. May tendency ng mga tao na as long as it doesn't directly affect me, it's something I can live with. Diba? Basta alagaan ko sarili ko, pamilya ko, barangay ko, I'm not a bad guy.
Exactly.
Kaya yun yung nakakalungkot eh. Walang sense of community, of something bigger than yourself. And
which I think parang for someone na ayun ang mahirap din. Kasi for someone na kumakalam ang sikmura.
Yes.
Ang hirap siyang isipin.
Totoo yan.
Diba?
Totoo yan.
Hindi din nila kasalanan yun per se.
Yes.
It's because that's the world
Pero
we live
nakikita mo yung
in.
Yes. And dun mo nakikita yung problema talaga ng Pilipinas na hindi na address, 'di ba? Yung poverty, yung na hindi tayo nakaka-go beyond pag-usad ng natin as a country because ang nasa-stuck tayo dun sa ito lang ang sakop ng problema ko. Hindi na ako makalabas.
And kaya rin nakalungkot is you would assume the people in power, the people with more resources, the people with more education would be the ones to do something about addressing that. Pero as far as the system is working for them, ganun pa rin yung mindset nila. Basta alagaan ko lang sarili ko, pamilya ko, maybe my barangay, pero hanggang lampas doon, it doesn't matter, doesn't affect me.
Kaya
Yun
nga
nakakalungkot
Kaya nga ang audience or ang mga botante ni VP is more on the middle class. Kasi sila yung mas educated na, sila yung, alam mo yun, they want more from what they have now, di ba? So mas tapos yung upper, yung class A at saka class DE yung magkasama di ba? Kasi yung class A gusto nila magstay in power. The DE naman gusto lang nilang to get by every day. Pero yun nga sana magbago yung natin, magbago yung ating pananaw. I mean as a country or as people, 'di ba? Para naman kasi so we don't make the same mistakes from the past.
Fingers crossed.
Which is yun yung message ng Kingmaker. Sana alam mo yun, hindi na natin ulitin to kasi nangyari na siya actually. Pero yun.
We should know better by now.
Oo siya yung I think most important projects na one of the most important na nagawa ko in my career. And yun, hopefully I can still do more. Kaya I love doing documentaries kasi it's iba siya I mean, I love fiction. I love yung mga ibang genres, pero documentaries has a very special place in my heart for these reasons. For ayun. Mas may purpose ka.
Oo, tama. Thank you so much, Tey. Alam kong 30 minutes lang yung hiningi namin, pero napatagal sa ng bonggang-bongga.
Sarap magkwentuhan. Namiss ko rin kayo.
Okay, that was Tey Clamor, and she did, again, additional cinematography on The Kingmaker, which we all found to be very enlightening, educational, and insightful in a lot of different ways, actually. And we are sure that all of you who would be looking up the film, it is on YouTube with different dubs, different subtitles. We'll provide a link in the caption, in the bio. We'll provide that for you guys to check out the film yourselves and make up your own minds. But right now, we'd like to turn the spotlight on our co-host, Anjo, who unfortunately was unable to participate in the interview.
I had a valid excuse.
Yes, very
yes,
valid.
you did.
It's
Absolutely.
Fine.
Yes.
It's fine.
Which you also mentioned during the interview.
yes, we did. Because we care. We care so much.
And I'm sure Tey would understand, right?
I am so sorry, Tey. I missed my chance to ask my questions. I missed my chance to shoot my shots. But my two wonderful co-hosts were able to, ask you some of the questions I was dying to ask. So thank you guys so much. And not throwing me under the bus.
It's okay. It's okay. You had to take care of your kid. We did the interview for the next generation. You were taking care of the next generation. Same difference.
Yeah, it's pretty symbolic, right?
So what did you think? What did you think? I mean, that interview went to some heavy places.
I know. Like, Misha and I were like, we need a drink after this.
Yeah, we did not expect that at all.
I did not expect to react the way that I felt like, because when I watched it, there were really a few moments where I couldn't help but just feel emotional about it. It's a broad spectrum of emotions because of what you're hearing and because of what I knew growing up. Like what I was told by my family, by what I was taught in school. It's just so different. It hit a nerve. I've never been one to to somehow be emotional over things like these. But now, as I don't know, like maybe it's because I'm a father now. There's something that's really making me feel apprehensive, something that makes me feel anxious about things now that I have a child to take care of. I'm sure it's different for other people, but because of how I was raised, because of the stories I knew, the lessons I was taught, it somehow shed more light and somehow reinforced what I believed in more. Like I don't want to sway anyone. This is just based on my personal experience. I don't want to sway anybody's decision. It just really hit me hard. And there was just so many points in the interview that I just kept just left my jaw hanging. It's like, what? It was so unbelievable. But, I there was just, I don't know, like, it's just so many emotions. I can't even express myself properly because there's just so many things that in my head that are popping up. I don't know which one wants to come out first, what I want to talk about first, but it's just a crazy, crazy interview. Very insightful.
And I hope for you and a lot of people listening right now who have already seen the film, I hope it was able to really contextualize or give clarity to what you saw. I mean, Tey's experiences firsthand on the ground with her camera, with what's going on here in the country. I think that poses a very important point of view.
Yes, totally agree with you. There are a few things that I wanted to point out actually, which stood out to me during the interview. The first thing was when Tey was telling us the experience about filming people waiting on that decision about the Sandigan Bayan.
Oh yeah,
and relocating the remains of former President Marcos to the libingan ng mga bayani. And you just see, or you see in the film, if you've seen it, or you hear from Tey what it was like doing that, and you see different crowds of people. On the one hand, you have the supporters of the Marcoses, and on the other hand, you have the martial law victims.
To be perfectly honest, I mean, I'm not going to paint good guys or bad guys and all. Again, we want the audience to make up their own minds. We want all of our listeners to check out the films and decide for themselves what their thoughts, what their opinions should be. For me, something that I am grateful for with the film is that it took for the most part, a balanced approach to the material. And it let both sides air their views. And I think that it's important for people, especially first-time voters who are going to be helping decide the next 6 years of our country, to try and understand our history, to understand where we've come from, to understand the events that led us to this point, so that they can appreciate how big this upcoming election, these decisions they have to make, will be.
Yes, totally agree with you.
And I appreciate how they also told us that Lauren came in just wanting to make a film about Imelda. No other motivations or no, what's the word?
No other motives.
Yeah, exactly.
No agenda.
No agenda, basically. And what she found out was eye-opening, I guess, for her and for a lot of us. We may have already known some of the information that was presented to us in the documentary, but there may have been some new things, some more human perspectives from maybe both the Marcos family and the victims of martial law back then.
Absolutely.
So, this is a democracy after all. We're going to be giving you the freedom to decide which of these points of view are lies, or what you think or will be better for our country in the long run. The decision you are going to make this May 9 if you are a voter. Will we be going towards the direction of maybe history repeating itself with the same family in power? Or do you think we need change? So that is up to you.
Something else that I think the film is quite successful at, and that I hope that it encourages, is conversations. conversations between people, because I think all of us have seen or we know people whose friendships, relationships, even within families, schools, offices, people are drawing battle lines. People are like, if you're not with us, you're against us. At the end of the day, guys, we have to live together. We have to try and understand each other. It's okay to have differences in opinion, but you also have to try and understand where the other party is coming from. When the film came out in 2019, it premiered at the CCP, as we mentioned in the interview. It didn't really get a chance at a wide release. The pandemic hit soon afterward, while the film was still supposed to make the festival rounds around the world. And it didn't really get a chance to reach a mass local audience. But now the film has been dubbed in Tagalog. It is on YouTube. It is on Vimeo. It is free. You don't even need to register. You don't have to download anything. Just go to youtube.com, look for The Kingmaker. It is dubbed in Tagalog, but it's also available with 5 sets of subtitles. You can see the subtitles are Tagalog, Bisaya, Ilocano, Bicol, and Hiligaynon. So regardless of where you might be coming from in the country, geographically or politically, we hope that you guys make the time to check out what the film has to say. And hopefully we can start the process of, like I said, communicating. There's no reason that we shouldn't be able to talk about this.
Not every conversation has to be toxic.
Right.
So every conversation, I think now, is more about education. And that's what this film is about. It's about educating you on both sides, which I completely appreciated the most. And because it's one thing to shoot a film, and especially a documentary, if it's completely biased. And I think, if I remember correctly, Tey mentioned that during the interview, that she was a bit worried about how the material was going to be treated, if it was going to lean towards a particular side. But as she did get to know the filmmakers, when they finally got to interact with each other, she knew that it was in good hands.
And I like that she took she gave it a chance, even if she wasn't entirely sure initially what the direction of the film would be, what the treatment would look like. She gave it a chance because she also saw an opportunity for herself to learn something that maybe she didn't know, or maybe that she had a different point of view on. She was open to having her mind changed, or to seeing things firsthand that maybe she only read about. At the end of the day, it was a learning experience, especially for the people who made the film.
Yes. It's pretty amazing how you can just enter into a project like that with that kind of mentality, or attacking a project as a clean slate, just trying to grow or trying to learn things as you go, which is, I think, the way to go if you're going to be shooting a documentary. Because she did mention it. I think, if I can quote her properly, if you're shooting a documentary, you follow one character, nanganganak yan. Because one event may happen right after the other. There's so many things that you don't plan for.
Right.
So I think how cohesive this documentary was because of the events that were happening consecutively. And I think that Lauren was able to tell a great story without really taking any sides. So, yeah.
And I think Tey's mindset going into the film is that kind of mindset that we should all apply going into making the decision on May 9 on who to vote for. You may already have made up your mind. You might be solid one way or another, but just opening your heart and seeing the different sides, and maybe questioning your own belief, or at the same time reinforcing it. This film might have like very different effects on all of us. But like I said, it's a democracy. But one thing I really want to point out is that they also mentioned the rampant misinformation out there.
Yes.
We have to be open and loving. We have to love radically. But at the same time, we should also stay vigilant against all the fake news and misinformation that is spreading.
Absolutely.
So it shouldn't be toxic. Bear in mind, if we get enough of that on social media, try to take 1, 2, 3 breaths and just relax.
Guys, alam ko minsan masarap ang hipagbardagulan, pero
Ano minsan?
Minsan talaga nakakapikon, to be honest. Like, I know a lot of
Yes.
people listening right now are maybe frustrated at what's going on. Like, the pure divisiveness
Yes.
of our political landscape can be very toxic and frustrating.
Yes.
But
And
the
what we
right
think
way,
is right.
but the right way to go about it is to educate ourselves on the lies, on the truths, on what really happened in history, not just like the chismis you see on Viber with your titas or whatever's being
Or
posted on
TikTok.
Facebook or TikTok. Please take into account what happened in history.
And something else also is, even assuming, I'm sure a lot of the people voting now are going to be people who didn't experience a lot of the events in the film firsthand. So everyone's context is different. Everyone's background is different. People are going to be coming at this from different angles. And that's perfectly understandable. But something you have to keep in mind is you are not just voting for today. You're not voting for this month. You're voting for the next 6 years. So are you going to vote for someone that you would be comfortable entrusting your children's future with? You know, this isn't about points of view at some point. This is about real people, real lives. And these are decisions that we will all have to live with, not just you. So please, please, please vote with your hearts, vote with your minds. And at the end of the day, we are all in this together, regardless of where you stand. Because whatever happens on election day affects everybody.
And keep in mind that who you're voting for is not the boss. We, as the Filipinos, vote for this person and put them, like, give them the power to lead. But at the same time, it's our voices that should be heard. So who in that roster will really listen to our plights? Who knows what the regular Filipino is going through? Who knows the hardships of every day making ends meet, putting food on the table, commuting long hours to work maybe, or whatever experience you're going through? If you're a farmer, alam niya ba kung anong paghihirap niyo, anong mga pangangailangan niyo? If you're maybe somebody who is more well off, do they know your problems too? These should be the people who are aware of the struggles of the Filipino people, because those are the problems that are set to solve together.
And, you know, we're not electing personalities. You are choosing people for a job. The job is running your country. You know, wouldn't you want somebody who could do a good job? I mean, honestly, you're not choosing them because mabait sila or you saw them on TV in a movie or something. Hindi porket artistahin or mabait. You know, you're looking for people who can do the work. People who are willing to roll up your sleeves, get their hands dirty, and do what has to be done.
You know, at the end of the day, I think the word we all want to say is entrusting our future, our children's future to this individual, whoever you are voting for. And if you can trust that individual enough, if you believe that their core values are in line with your values, and if you think that they have the capabilities, the intelligence, the heart to lead us all, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And come May 9, I sincerely hope that whatever name you put down on that ballot is somebody that you can live with.
Yes.
6 years!
6 years, guys. Just remember, also remember when talking to people and engaging in discourse, remember that one's experience does not invalidate the others. So it's good to always listen.
Absolutely. So, and again, a very good place to start is educating yourself. And there's no better place to start than with The Kingmaker. It is available now for free on Vimeo and on YouTube with Tagalog dub. It's available with 5 sets of subtitles. There's Ilocano, Bicolano, Cebuano, Hiligaynon, and Filipino. So please check it out. Give it a chance. Tell your friends. Tell your family, you know, and talk about what you see. Talk about what you learn. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And yeah, good luck to us all.
And maybe Kingmaker stirred up a fire in you and you kind of want to watch some similar films with the same subject matter. So might I suggest, if you want to go into a deep dive into like films talking about the subject matter, might we suggest the classics from Lino Broca? Maynila sa Kuko ng Liwanag.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
Brilliant movie. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Ishmael Bernal's Manila by Night, Mike De Leon's Batch 81,
Batch 81.
Kisap Mata. And if you want to go more recent, there are a lot as well. We recently had, obviously, The Kingmaker, and maybe you'd like to see Respeto, which actually has just recently been available for free as well. So you can go watch that, watch some fun rap battles while you're at it. Also, Sari Delenas Kaoryang, Liway by Kip Oy Banda, Citizen Jake by Mike De Leon. There's no shortage of films telling us about our history.
You can even do Bicada Stenta.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Or another documentary. This one came out in 2004. So just if you want a little more historical perspective, this one is from Ramona S. Diaz. It's called Imelda. It's a documentary. It's also available on YouTube for free. A lot of these movies can help you. No one movie has all the answers, but if you see, the more of them you see, the more context you'll have, and in many ways, a lot of them fill in the blanks of the others.
And works of art. There's a lot of them are classics for a reason. So support Philippine cinema as well.
Yeah. Yes.
So good luck, everyone. Come May 9, please vote responsibly. And here's to a better tomorrow.
If you guys have any thoughts about this episode, or if you guys want us to do, if you think it's about time for us to do another Filipino movie, sound off in any of our socials. We have a Facebook group called Sub-Auteurs We Like Movies. You can find us on our Facebook page and our Instagram, Sub-Auteurs Podcast. Whee!
That's a new handle, by the way. We changed the old one. It is now at Sub-Auteurs Podcast. Or just like easier recall across all platforms.
Uniform.
And for the films that are available for free on Vimeo and on YouTube, for the relevant links, we'll be providing them in the caption and in the comments. So check them out.
Yes, so God bless the Philippines.